Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
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 Welcome to another episode with the AFK Juicers. This week, we got a lot to cover. It's going to all be very interesting. Let's start with some introductions. We're going to do highlight or lowlight of the week, followed by what's your favorite anime or manga that you're reading or watching. I'm D. My highlight of this week is our guild is doubled everyone in battle drills for our district. And
Wow.
my favorite manga that I'm currently reading is Greatest Estate Developer. I think that the drawing is absolutely hilarious. The story is hilarious with some heart-touching moments.
It's not the best. It's not the best.
We'll go in alphabetical order. So, Jimothy?
Everyone should know me by now. The Jimmy the Gray. My highlight is that finals are finally over. So I can start going back to spamming shorts on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess favorite manga. That's a tough one.
That you're currently reading.
I'm
not like of
currently
all
reading. Okay. Let me pull up what I'm currently reading right now. Blue Box.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
It's a slice of life manga.
Millie?
Yeah. So, well, I also finished my exam, so that's probably definitely the same as Jimmy there. Exciting moment. But for my favorite, or my current favorite anime or manga, does Arcane count?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not an anime or a manga.
You know what? We'll count it. We'll add shows to the list.
Okay.
Okay.
Marco
From
next.
Spain.
Yes. I think I was divided. I'm thinking about One Piece. Basic.
Oh,
But
wow.
the other one is Blue Lock. I was watching and reading. It's the other one. So I think both. But if I need to keep one, I think One Piece because I saw so many. It's like cocaine, like you start consuming One Piece and you don't stop it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how long it's like I need to know that how it ended. I need to end
Do you
it.
have any highlights this week, Mako?
I think theory the same. Like I finished the exams and everything. I have one left.
Ooh.
But yeah, I think that's it. And I can start like now stream a few days or something because people are telling me like, hey, when you gonna stream? Like, I'm a little bit busy. I got enough with the videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think
All
that's.
From the sea, we have Turtle Lags.
Yay! Hi everyone, I'm Turtle Lags. Thank you for having me on, D, Jimmy, Milan. I think AFK Juicers podcast is such a great idea, and glad for me and Maka to be invited for this episode. So thank you.
I agree. It looks pretty nice.
My highlight IRL actually is this past week for Thanksgiving week. I know we're on almost mid-December, but my mom and my sister and we spent Thanksgiving together and the days afterwards, and I hadn't seen them for over half a year, so it was really nice to be with family. I was in charge of turkey, which was very it actually turned out quite well, although I had to learn how to defrost a turkey, and I went to like 7 to 8 grocery stores trying to find pineapple rings because my mom, she was very insistent on pineapple rings to bake the turkey with. So
That's interesting. Usually, pineapple rings for me goes on the ham.
I know, right? Yeah, my mom doesn't like ham because it's too salty, so we put the pineapples on the turkey to tenderize it. Yeah, and probably the best turkey in my life, as it turned out. So, yeah, we did a good job.
All right, we're going to Turtles for Thanksgiving next year.
Yes.
Sounds good.
D, you should have pulled up. Aren't you close to him?
Yeah, I
I
didn't
know,
know he
we're-
cooks turkey like that. So next year I'm in.
Yeah, yeah. I'll have to invite you next year, D.
Yeah, definitely.
And the anime that I've been watching has been Solo Leveling. I actually,
good.
the other highlight this past week was watching the first episode of season 2 in the movie theater, and it was amazing, amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Chef's
in
kisses?
theaters?
Yes, yes. And actually, after watching the first episode, it made me realize that Solo Leveling, every episode is almost like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The quality is just top tier, and I'm glad they're doing it
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm. I'm
And,
so glad they didn't have the blue lock effect.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. All right. Last but not least, Brother Star.
Hey, Star Lord over here. You know, doing good. Highlight of the week would be that we, finally pioneers here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's always interesting,
Yeah.
especially now with Raven Realm. That's also a highlight. I like that type of game mode that makes us use all type of units from all factions that we generally wouldn't use all the time. And besides that, anime or manga, I've been rereading a manga I like a lot. Though I would say maybe it's not for everyone. It's Chance. I don't know if you guys heard of it.
Ants? Oh, I liked it for sure. The ending was very wild for me.
Yeah, no, it's a wild ride. The anime, don't watch it, please. If you're ever interested, go to the manga straight. Do
Oh
yourself
yeah,
a favor.
definitely. The manga route's the way to go for Gantz, Gantz, whatever.
And
All
yeah,
right,
no, and
let's jump right into it then. Let's go with What's Up Esperia. Star-Lord leaked a little bit about what was interesting, but Jimmy, take it away.
Oh, this week's been pretty dry. I thought Bonnie was gonna drop this week because you know how banner rotations work.
Oh yeah.
Usually, when there's a week left on a character, another one releases. But she didn't. But she's supposed to be coming next week, and there have been leaks about stuff coming next week. Esperia is getting a makeover, a Christmas makeover. The Cavern Tavern is also getting a Christmas makeover, so that should be fun. There is a new event coming with Scam Gazers. That was good. So, what are you most excited for? What are you guys most excited for in this Christmas events?
Oh, is there gonna be Christmas skins?
No.
No.
Well, for what I saw, yeah,
We
not
have
Blair
costumes, but
Lorson
not
is
the
getting
skins.
one.
And
No.
But for next season, Lorson is getting a Christmas themed one though.
I'm excited that the Mythic Charm upgrades should be dropping with the next Titan Reaver. Which hero are you guys gonna do first? I'm leaning Lily May.
I'm between Lily or Harak.
Yeah.
Like that.
Lily May is probably the safest option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like okay, use in case.
Mm.
Yeah. I love the card team. They're gonna make. I hope. I hope you can fight without cards, and in that way you can have like the friend duel. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because basically we have the friend duel, but it's like Supreme Arena. Most people don't like it. That type of fighting. And it's like, oh, I hope the card game you can remove the card with your friend. Both on the fight, and you can do normal fighting. It's like, oh yeah. I remember one of my viewers suggested, like, I hope they do that, and I was like, yeah, me too. I think with that
That'd
it
be
can be
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
To go on to news, we know that Ravaged Realm is coming back. You guys excited? I know Kafra is probably going to be used a lot. Kafra, Niru, Salazar, Muriel. Don't sleep on her. She was meta last season.
Oh yeah.
I love
Walker's gonna
Who are you guys excited to use? Who are you guys excited to use?
well, I think Seth or Soren, for the Maulers, because they're pretty. It's very weird seeing them, and watching them is like, oh yeah, that can be awesome. Or like for example, Florabelle, because it's a long time we don't see them.
Right.
Yeah, Florabelle hopefully comes back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Orbel. Only in AFK stages to sacrifice her children to Damien.
Yes. Oh yeah, for AFK stage pushing.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah, I think some charms will have a big impact, like Riz and Bryon. They got a really good charm set.
It's Reese, not Riz. Reese.
Riz and Bryon.
yeah, Jimmy plays with the volume on in his game, so he knows the names.
So yeah, I think so too. Like we can see now on the Ravage, like most of the charms. Right now you're starting to finish like the sets of like Marily, Yodi, like the common damage dealers.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely saving my charm dust for when Ravage drops. That way I can craft what I need to.
Because someone.
Yeah, I'm doing the same.
Exactly. Someone discovered some random, like, oh, I found this. I was like, okay. I got no charm essence.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love they put the Titan River on it, because free-to-play players or people that don't pass too much on Duras trials, you can get access to the charms. And without charms, you can pass Dural trials easier that way.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think that is a good implement in that way.
Definitely. And they need to give us more charm.
Yeah, in that way.
Yes, we need more time. Like, please. I know I've said this like every episode, but we try and suck this time around. The way to get them is too slow.
Yeah.
Agree.
Even if you have them all maxed out, you barely get anything with a whole week almost to even craft one.
Yeah, no, Ravage Realm gives a... Not Ravage Realm, Titan Reaper gives a lot, though. Which is actually really good. It's like a setting change.
Yeah. I think that's a good
should do something.
Yeah, the skins for Ravage Realm, the cosmetics for Ravage Realm is nice. Because I love the color green, and it's going to be some green cosmetic.
And I love we defeat the God Queen, like the Sea Queen of the seas,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome, because people ask me...
Tactical mommy?
Yeah.
I really didn't like the positioning of her tongue. The bottom, if you saw the picture.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I would like to see it.
Mixed feelings.
Any more news, Jimmy?
Subscribe. Please, I need some watch hours.
Yeah. Is Pioneer coming what week? Like the next one? Or is this already?
I'm pretty sure some people
already started.
Oh, it was
Pioneer started yesterday.
Oh, I don't. Oh shit! I don't know that. Sad.
Yeah, you're supposed to get the Pioneer Discord in your in-game mail, and then all the instructions on how to install are in the Discord, and they email you Pioneer.
Yeah. Sad. Pepper-san.
Yeah, you have to check 3 different places for Pioneer.
Yeah, lucky.
That's exciting. And I heard this time Pioneer might be the new VN server. Like it won't get shut down.
Oh, well, if that's the case.
Wait, does that mean all the
in.
goodies are being kept? Like, you know how last Pioneer, people got all maxed out accounts with Dragon Crystals. So is that
I think so. I mean, if they really want people to test things, then they really got to do it that way.
I don't think they'll make it stay if they're giving everyone a free account.
I mean, I'm sure they could just do like constant wipes and stuff.
No, I mean you can't spend money on it. It's completely isolated.
Yeah.
But what they can do is...
hope they don't treat it like PTR, because PTR is having a rough time now.
They can do it like PBE on League of Legends. You have like a separate server, and they reward you for playing with the money, in theory, with the RP. But nothing costs anything, like everything costs like 1 RP or something. It's like basically like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah,
and I think if they do that, something like that, more people can test different ways, you know, like for example, oh, I want to test this character to P4, the difference with Supreme and P4, you know, like what's the difference? Is worth it or because I know a lot of characters like with Supreme is fine, but when you get the extra energy or the extra damage reduction, they became a god tier.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Mhm.
Some units benefit a lot more from the Paragon stats than others.
Exactly. And that thing can be a good implement on the, and it's basically what they say, like you can basically wipe, you know, like each time. So imagine like you upgrade something to P4, that is very easy, and it's like, oh, I don't want it anymore, you know, P4. So you get a wipe and you get it again to Supreme Plus, so you can do the different things. That can be nice.
That would be really good.
Yeah. So usually in our pod, we would do a hero spotlight, but since we have two of the hottest content creators for AFKJ, I feel like we should do creator spotlight where we can see what it's like to be an AFKJ creator. What pressures do you guys face as content creators for like a gacha game or just anything in general if you're creating content for other things? Let's start with Mako.
Right now, at least for me, when I do my videos, it's more for like information or the news that are coming. So basically, I usually try to collect the most information possible, but don't don't delay it a lot, because I know people want that info, at least in the finals of the seasons when you don't have that much content or you don't have that much things to do. It's very nice to have that, you know. It's like a refreshing air, like, oh, it's coming these heroes, or it's coming these things to the game, and I think people like that a lot. And I felt like if I don't bring it all together or whatever, it feels like empty, you know, like, oh shit, I can maybe add this thing, you know, because I know people leak a lot of things. Basically I can do the video, one day or two when I post it, it can release another thing, and I felt like a little bit sad to don't add it.
Now there is a fine line though, because I feel like sometimes, not calling anyone out specifically, but even in other games too, sometimes content creators are trying to put out contents so fast. Sometimes the information's not quite accurate, right? How do you distinguish between like the pressures of putting something out fast, but not so fast where you're missing vital information?
I can speak on this one. I feel like nowadays a lot of the content that gets a lot of views are what it could be leaks or just like, you know, someone from the test server or Vietnam server who has access to content that no one else has currently in global. It puts a lot of pressure on content creators to release content as quickly as possible. For me, I quickly realized early on that there's no way I can compete with the other content creators. For one, I don't have a Vietnam server, I don't have a test server account, but also, like, back when I was traveling, you know, my internet sometimes was pretty unreliable, and so getting a video edited and then released, I mean, the fastest I could do it when I was traveling was maybe like 12 hours after recording it would be out. But even back in California with, you know, a setup and everything and an internet connection just for myself, I still cannot get like the fastest that I can get a video recorded, edited, uploaded. I mean, it's still probably 6 to 9 hours. And so the combination of all that, I just realized, I told myself that instead of trying to beat everyone, you know, to be the first person to talk about something, I would try to release a video that would last, like, people might watch it again a month or 2 months after. Such as take battle drills, for instance. a lot of other content creators, they generally don't talk about content that doesn't have very good rewards. Or maybe they'll talk about it the first time it's released, but that's about it. But I noticed that every time Desolate Grounds, comes out, or like, I see a surge in views for that video that I recorded 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Like, even myself, I'm like, wait, what's Best in Slot again? What's the path thing? And I have to refer to my video. So,
That's great to have
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I usually do that for specific things on Arena, but the problem is when you release new characters, basically it changed. Because maybe I say, oh, this Escalita team is very nice, and then 2 months ago they released Lily May, and Lily May canceled your Escalita. It's like, okay, maybe now it's not that great.
Yeah, because you also want to have like a lot of quality, because then it makes your stuff rewatchable. Because I know, specifically for Harak, there was a lot of misinformation going around with his abilities and whatnot when it came out, because people wanted to like dump videos as fast as they could. So like a lot of his like key skills and like synergies were like exaggerated or like not even talked about.
Yeah, I remember talking like Harak is a good partner, for example, with Bala, because both wants to fish that early kill and roll over, for example. And I know most of the people, at least free-to players, they get Bala, because it was the first character and they pull out very hard. Just like, oh, that can be a good incentive to you to get Harak if you already get this type of character.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like that, because when you give that information, when people that come later can see the video and say, oh, yeah, that's true, like for example, what I did is nowadays I do first impressions on the character, that I don't talk about the abilities, about anything. It's basically theories and talking about what can be, or what I will love to see it, and then the player, the deep vision of the character, basically. You see it like more in deep, like, oh, I think with this combo with this character, or maybe with that faction can be nice. It's basically what you say about Harak, people, and saying very things about, oh, if he hit this character, he got the stats, and then 1 week later when it got released, it's like, no, he don't get the stats, or he don't get this, and it's like, yeah. And I already tell him, like, most of my viewers, like, hey, doesn't matter how cool the champion looks, just wait like 5 days,
Oh yeah.
and then you can take it, because, for example, when Lily May released, I know it was broken, but I wait like 5 days to be
Just
the
in case.
example. Yeah, to be the example to my community. Like, hey, you see, I don't pull out for this character, because I want you to be aware, because I say, oh, you can bait them with Brian, you can do these things, you can position like this, and it's not that powerful. Obviously, it's powerful, because it was the Chinese release, and it's like, yeah, of course you're gonna want to release a powerful character, but it's what I meant,
Yeah, no, it's
you
good. You show by
It's
example.
basically, yeah, exactly. It's what you say, Milan. Like, people sometimes want to release the video and don't stop it and say, oh wait, maybe this thing is not totally corrected.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like a little bit of that happened with like Sonya lately. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, go all in Sonya," and then after a couple days, they're like, "Oh, she's still good, just not as crazy as everyone."
Yeah,
Right.
hype for sure. It's like a huge driving factor.
Yeah. Also, if you wait like a couple days, you can also kick out like a counter video before you pull your own too. Like, because you're forced to figure out how to counter them since you don't have your own, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Exactly.
curious. There's not really many unit analysis videos. So what would be cool, I would be interested in this, is if like maybe someone made a video on like Burial, for instance, because there's nothing on him online, like, or very little stuff, or like some of these lesser known units. and like how to sort of use him, because I know a lot of people like Burial's design, let's say, or build him, but they don't know how to use him effectively.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
We need a.
It's called it's
we
called
need a-
getting him to pre-4 plus 25.
Yeah,
That's how you use him.
easily usable at that point.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but yeah, basically the problem was, and I understood that, and that's the reason I want them to implement like the friend tool, to duel your friends or whatever.
Mhm.
But on the normal arena, because it's one the people is more interesting, is basically to test things, because you don't want to risk your points and your position on arena to
for
test
sure.
Kafra. I want to test Kafra. Yeah, I'm gonna test it against Carlita, and you get kicked out. I don't expect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have a friend duel and you can tell your friend, hey, put Scarlita. He gets wrecked by a Scarlita. Sad. And you don't care. You can do 10 fights and it's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
No,
you're
normal
totally
arena
right.
friend duel would be very cool to have.
Exactly.
I
And I
would
think with that, you can test things and you can put a perspective on the character. Like, is Barrier very good on maps? Yeah, if the map is very large, yeah, you can deploy a lot of shadows. If the map is very small, no, because all the characters are gonna be close together and you can spawn shadows, for example, and you can put the video, you can put the testing, and you don't gonna care if you lose or win, for example.
Yeah, exactly. I think they should advance that a little to include like you said, you don't want to test in normal arena, so if they could have like a feature where you could take out the seasonal stuff in the friendly duels.
Yeah, use
That
like a
would be
button,
really
like the linger. You have a button, so you deactivate and activate it. And
Yeah,
Can we
yeah,
find-
because
Yeah.
there's like, even if you don't use the tiles, there's stuff like charm skills that you can't really turn off.
oh yeah, yeah,
That will
the whole
always
thing.
be like there.
The factional bonuses is still applying, like all
Yeah.
the defense and all the attack, and that's applied too. Yeah, that's horrible. In that case, if you want to test things, you change a lot. And if you want to change, if you want to fight, you need to fight without the factional, but you still having the charms, So it's very,
Right.
very tricky. Yeah.
Exactly,
Well,
yeah.
Well, we'll save
I'm-
some of that for a little bit later.
Yeah, of course.
I would,
Turtle, what pressures do you face as a content creator?
This past month, like, how I took a 1 month hiatus, maybe slightly more than that. The reason that happened was because on November 3rd, I actually remember it very well. It was my last live stream for that month. And I distinctly remember I had a longtime viewer, had been watching me since probably April. And he was, I'm not going to name him, but he was like basically someone who was like really into AFKJ, even created a spreadsheet early on, back when people were asking like, is there a way to plan ahead for how to use my faction talent orbs so that, I optimize my faction talents and or at least plan for it. He dropped by my Twitch stream and just told me, hey Turtle, I'm thinking about quitting the game because the game is boring to me now. Which totally surprised me, because just 2 weeks ago he was like putting a lot of time into a spreadsheet, to help other people out. And I remember during that time I was actually feeling the same thing, in the sense like, for me, I'm content creating, I'm live streaming. What I love about this game is that even during the down times I can, community build. But during that time I totally empathized with him 100%. I had a little bit of burnout, but I didn't realize it at the time. And I think I didn't really have anything good to say that would keep him around longer for the game. And then maybe like 2 minutes later, he said, I forget if he said like he's not gonna stop by anymore or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, just basically, since I'm not going to play AFKJ anymore, I might not be dropping by the stream as much. After that, I just kind of was, during that time also, I was reflecting about how, when I came back to California, I fixed a lot of things that needed to be fixed in order to improve my live streams, such as getting a mic, having better internet connection, having a laptop, like a Windows PC as opposed to a MacBook, so I can actually play the game properly, as opposed to having my iPad connected to my MacBook and using like a mirroring sort of feature to like, I had to do a lot of workarounds to make it visually appealing to my viewers. I optimized everything for content creation, and I had probably a fifth of the viewers, or maybe like half the viewers that I did before. Like when the game first started, I was averaging about 60 simultaneous viewers. Maximum I'd have like over 100 simultaneous viewers. And then around the time when Song of Strife was, there's nothing going on, my viewership cut down to 30 simultaneous. Now I have 10 simultaneous viewers. So it's like my stream quality, my content creation, I think it's all better from the lessons I've learned, but my viewership has been cut dramatically. And I think I was known as the person to go to for the best strategies for Dream Realm and that sort of thing, but that got trivialized overnight with the introduction of suggested formations. And then maybe like a month later, people started hiding their formations, but then they would get it from either Analytica or Puzzled. And like basically I was trying to figure out, okay, why do people watch my videos in the first place? What can I do to improve? Just have the same audience that I had before. But it's really hard because I don't know how much of it is me and how much of it is just people not playing the game as much as before. But then at the same time, I was feeling like, well, as a content creator, it's partially my responsibility to bring the hype to the game even during the downtimes. So, yeah, I think that internal struggle, I just had to take a break, touch grass a little bit more.
I feel like you can't put the pressure of hype onto yourself, because if the game itself doesn't do anything, then it shouldn't be your responsibility to do it.
Yeah, and that leads me to the next segment, which is game health, the state of the game, and the improvements. I know this is a big topic, especially in this part of the season. I had maybe 2 or 3 guild members just quit in the past week, and that's just because it's that part of the season that no one really like. There's nothing going on.
Yeah, in my guild is similar. It's something similar. Like they stop playing until they come the next season, and then it's like, oh, I'm back. I'm alive.
Yeah, but for me, it's tougher. Like people just don't come back.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing that can happen. It's basically they don't come back.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about the state of the game? Not just like this part of the season, the game as a whole, and then maybe segue into this part of the season. Mako, what do you think?
I mean, they can do a few like little fixes in that way. That I think that improve a lot the health of the game. For example, one of my viewership told me, and I think I agree a lot with him, is on Arena. Basically on Arena, you can get bully when you are sleeping or something. If you have different or a high difference hour time zones, for example. Yeah, you can be sleeping and player can be playing, and you have no chances to change your formation or whatever, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
And they told me like, hey, they can give you a shield like 1 hour against that specific person, so he can not attack you 10 times. And if he wants to attack you 10 times, he need to do it along the entire day. You know, like 1 attack, 1 hour, 1 attack. You know, and I think that can be reasonable because, for example, for me, the reset is at night. And in my server, there's people from America, and the reset for him is in the mid of the day, for example. And it's very unfair, you know, because I can be sleeping and they attack me before the reset closes. It's like, oh, not lucky, you know, like you can do anything against it. And it's like, yeah, that's true. So I think if they, for example, something that easy like that, like you cannot find the same person in 1 hour, or for example, I think that can be nice because you have time to change your formation, you know.
Yeah, I really like the shield idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 30 minutes or something. It can be something like so ridiculous that it changed a lot the game, because now you have time to change the formation or do something, you know, and it can be more fun to play it. And if you attack, you lose it, the shield, you know, so it can be a back and forth, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I like the idea. And for
like
the
an attack
content
cooldown.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's very frustrating when he attack you and he found you 10 times, but you try to find it and you only find like 3 times. It's like, no, I need to find it more. Yeah, my points, I need it back.
Yeah.
Need my revenge.
Yeah, exactly. You want the rage.
Yeah, and then you're just tilt spamming attacks, and it's only working half the time, and they're getting more points.
Exactly. There's like little things, like for example, other one can be like cosmetics on the guild. You know,
We
you
love
can
cosmetics here.
Yeah, you can customize a little bit your guild, or you can customize yourself like with the guild. You know, for example, a lot of my guild loves the costumes they release it, but they are divided because it's like, oh, if I get the costume, I cannot get the skin of Hyperion or X champion. You know, like for example, they are very divided in that way. You know, so.
Yeah.
I think that if they put something to grind on the shop, you know, so you can grind the tickets, I think that can be nice. So you can get the skins. So the people that loves the skins can grind it. I think that doesn't affect the game. You know, it's like you don't grind diamonds or whatever. That can be a good implement, like a specific fighting ground that you can get tickets, the Belvoir store tickets. Yeah, and you can get all of the store, you know, like
Yeah, you can't
that's
get
for people
them unless
can
you buy it, right? Those servers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's a huge drawback. Because this is exclusive stuff too. Like this won't. Well, I mean, it says it might, but we don't know when this is coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even the stuff down
Right.
here.
I got the 2 heroes and the previous set, but I don't get completely. I only get the first one, for
Of course.
example. But yeah, for example, this one I cannot afford it. You know, like it's like no, it's too much for me.
Yeah.
And that happens to a lot of my guildmates and viewers. Like they want more the cosmetics, but they don't found the side when they can grind the Belper store basically. I think they can reward you maybe on fishing. You know, you can found tickets fishing it. You know, like
that's a good idea.
You found trash. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You found trash fishing. You know, and it's like okay, yeah, good.
Yeah, because there's no reason to fish after you hit the max level, or even just
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, for example, I remember that's very funny and very curious. Like, you know, like there's like the golden fish, you know, like the special kingfish. Yeah, imagine the kingfish follow you. You know, like it's on your side. You know, you can put the characters follow you, so you can put the fish king follow you as a reward. You know, for
like a
example.
pet.
Yeah, exactly, like a pet, like a reward, and you can have it permanent. Like, hey, you have now the characters, and you have your little pet is the fish king.
Yeah, they already have something like that with the units. So being able
Yeah,
to,
you can enable the spot there. Yeah,
Yeah.
there, and you put it on the top
spot
left.
number
and-
5, pet.
Exactly, and you can change it.
Mhm.
And you can have like the Fish King, and in the next season can be like a Tiny Wolf or whatever, you know. And it can be another
Yeah.
cosmetic that they can add, and it can be awesome. I love my community
It's a
for
great
that
idea.
reason. Yeah, because they give me a lot of things like that. It's like, oh yeah, I love it.
I think pets would bring a lot of people back. I remember
and a reason to grind, you know, and try to find a way to get them. You know, like that can be awesome.
I remember during the player meetup, Turtle had some ideas for cosmetics and how they can be used. I don't quite remember
yes.
fully all of it, but Turtle, please.
Yeah, so I during the meetup, one thing I emphasized was that that they have very good cosmetics, like the one for Parisa, you know, the one for Odie, and I was just bringing up to them that, you know, it's nice to have all these ideas for ways to attract new players, but we also need ways to bring returning players back to the game.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is that, you know, when you return back into this kind of game where the seasons are 4 months long, you know, so if you even join like 2 weeks in, you're already left in the dust, right? In terms of like progress and everything. And I don't think you can really catch up from that. But what you can do is for the very casual players who just want to, you know, maintain their account but not have to spend so much time or log in every single day. If they did something like giving a free cosmetic every month, and it's only given that month, then it would give a person a reason to log back in and like find their login, you know, even for, you know, to log in for like a day or two per month just to secure that skin for their account before, you know, they go MIA again for however long.
Yeah. And then maybe
yeah,
something
they-
new catches their eye when they're logging in for a day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was actually thinking this morning that there were some ideas that I and also a lot of attendees they provided to the devs that the devs haven't implemented yet, such as like for instance, I suggested that Primal Lords are very popular amongst the players. So, you know, in Song of Strife, we only had one Primal Lord the entire 4 months. I emphasized that. And, you know, I told them my first video to exceed 10k views was the Play Creeper. Like, people really liked the Primal Lords. So, you know, instead of having one Primal Lord every 4 months or even every 2 months, they should really have one Primal Lord every month.
Agreed, yeah.
Even if they have to recycle some, or you want fresh every month?
Oh, fresh ones. Yeah, I emphasize that too. And also, I mentioned that there needs to be more story and more maps. We can't have a situation where we finish the story and explore the entire map within the first month of this
first
of a
2 weeks.
4-month season. Like we need lots more to explore. You know, the cutscenes and Waves of Intrigue was especially good. Like they know how to do good cinematics, so why not have more of them? You know, it's not something that people have to pay for. I mean, I didn't say that, but I was just thinking like, you know, people want to be able to enjoy the game without having to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
exactly. I think they should, like, when I first heard of Reasons, I thought they would add in more to the story throughout. Like, it's a shame it's just all dumped on you at the start and it's time gated, and then there's nothing throughout the next 3 months.
Oh yeah.
Like you were saying.
Oh. Yeah. One thing. Sorry, Torto.
Oh yeah, go for it.
One of my, because I activated on my community like a space so they can put things, like I call it like the wish list, like the things you will like. And one thing is very nice because they already have it on Arena, and it's one thing they can implement here, and I thought it can be great. Is like the drills we have with the characters, that you have like different tasks. Like for example, with Alsa, you need to create a wall to stop the enemy, so he cannot escape. Yeah, so for example, that missions you can implement it with the new characters. You put like 10 missions with them, and you give it for free, like in that mission, so you can test it out. Like imagine you want to get IPG or Celestial, so you have like a battleground to test it out. Like, oh, I want to see how powerful is Diona, or how powerful is Alsa, or the new character Sonja, so you can see it, and basically it doesn't gonna change a lot for you, but for the new player that comes back and it's like, oh, what is this character, what they do, what what is his percentage of damage, is gonna change a lot, you can test it out, and I think that can be nice.
Would be cool if they had it similar to how Labyrinth does it, to where in friendly duels, or in Labyrinth, a lot of your units are brought up to like Supreme Plus. So if they could do something like that in friendly duels, where you have every unit at baseline Supreme Plus, of course the whales will still have Paragon levels, so it's not really too major. But that way, to free to play, and if even just anyone, if they want to test a new unit, they could just go into friendly duels, and they can just throw them on.
Yeah, for example, other one that they told me is they can give for example, a ticket or whatever that makes you unit upgrade for free, but it's temporarily. For example, like games give you like good characters for certain time, so you can test it out and say, oh, I like this character, and you want to take it out.
Actually,
and basically, and basically you can use it. If you use it, for example, on Arena, on the Arena here, you don't get the points, It's like for testing out. So you can testing on Arena against your players and say, oh, it's worth it to me to expand it to get Diona. Oh no, I lose with Diona. Okay, so I'm gonna go for Escalita. Or I'm gonna test this Escalita. Exactly. That can be nice.
Yeah, especially the Stargazing units, because those are really like high investments.
Exactly.
It takes months to build, so you want to know what you're gonna be building, right?
Yeah, where is his potential? And you have testing time, like, oh, so the owner unit supports with him, or you don't need tanks because he already have a lot of damage, so you boost them. Or
and there's also
you're losing with Dino?
Yeah.
You need to know how to use Dino.
Damn.
I think that's why
you need a P4 Dianal.
Yeah.
All you need is a P2 Diano, and then it becomes your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Except in Super Mario.
I think if they load a lot more content up front, then when they do their patches, they could do one quality of life patch followed by one content patch, then quality of life, then content, then quality of life, then content. But that's banking on the fact that they, give more content up front, so they have breathing room enough so that they don't do literally content every release with no quality of life.
Yeah.
One thing I brought up to them a long time ago was it's a simple one too. Like the formation window, you can't tell which pesto's which. And I just want to be able to distinguish which pesto's which on the formation.
I remember sending the formations to an Analytica server, and I always forgot that. And he always asked me the same question: who is the real Foresto?
And that's the easy one. So like, I feel like if they do like at least one quality of life patch every couple content patches, that'd be great. But I think they just need to get their schedule set nicely.
Yeah, but going back to the content creator, making content, it's tough. Like, there's a lot to do at the start of the season to make videos on the story, on the new units and new features, and then like now, you guys have like not much to make content on. Like, what are you gonna do? Ravage Realm, and then that's pretty much it, right? So It's good.
Yeah,
There's
right.
like some way to constantly make content throughout the season.
There is.
Yeah.
It's called Honor Duel. It's called Honor
Yeah.
Duel.
Yeah, that's
Honor and
one
Arcade
thing
Labyrinth.
people told me all the time is like if they put the ranking matters on Honor Duel and Labyrinth, most people will play it. For example, like the most common thing, I do a video of that, is like when they put rewards on Labyrinth, okay? Like mostly all my servers and the district play it. All of it, basically. And usually it's like 30 people. They do it for the guild chests, because the guild chests give you more. But most of the people doesn't care because it's like I don't care if I spot on the first one on the number 20. I'm gonna get the same reward or no reward, But if you put like the top 10, they're gonna get, for example, 1 yellow. You know how many people are gonna beat them up to get the number 10 on Labyrinth? Like they're gonna get the perfect round,
Yeah.
Or for example, like you get on the Honor Duel, like you made it like Arena. I already told them you can get rewards not only for qualify, like for your victory. It doesn't matter if you get 1 victory or 12, you still it doesn't feel right, like it's like most people doesn't get the try hard on that thing because like okay, like I get 5 wins and then I'm gonna get 12 wins and doesn't gonna matter, And if they change it a little bit, like you can get 1 epic card or you can get 1 stellar crystal, only 1 per week. But if you get 12 victories, you have the chances to get 1 stellar crystal per week, for example. You incentivize a lot of people to in that week get a perfect run, and you have 7 days to get them. So eventually you can get a good run and get the 12 wins, and most people will be interested.
Yeah, I mean they said they would add rewards to Labyrinth and Honor Duel, I think even last season. So it's a really good idea for sure.
It's something like you don't need to care much because you already implemented, And I love Labyrinth because you have so many different builds, like the healing, the lasting thing. I remember one that you don't need to do anything. You basically let the enemies die. It's like a Venom or whatever. And it feels so good, like when you see all the enemies doing anything and they die. It's like, that's so powerful. You have no power here, I like that. But basically it's no incentive, is what you say. And if they do that, we're gonna have a lot of content, basically. We have a lot and basically it's no change, And the same for the battle drills. I feel the same. It's like, you get 500 diamonds at the start, but it's no incentive for repeating it, It's like the number 2, number 3 is nothing. It's like you can give something, like each time you defeat it, you can get at least 1 card, or you can get bigger guild coins, for example. You get 1k extra, like if you defeat it 3 times, you get 3k more. Yeah, and you can basically expand your weekly rewards on the guild, basically. That can be nice. And you can always cap it at 3, so a whale cannot kill it like 6 times, But it can be fine. You can basically balance it. And people can have the feeling like, I'm getting more guild coins. I'm getting more rewards for doing this correctly. Because more people doesn't care, don't attack or basically don't put the good teams. If you do that, most people gonna try hard out. We'll put the good teams, we'll do a good pathing, we'll try to maximize everything.
Because a lot of people put a lot of effort in clash runs too and battle drills. And it's honestly like kind of sad watching even just like clash run specifically. There's guilds who had no one log in the last 7 days, and they got the exact same rewards as like a super active guild who made sure that everyone deployed every single day, and they're like
that's a good point.
Strategizing, and they got the same legendary rank, and it's like kind of like it's depressing, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope they change it, for the next one when they put it, because people Yeah, exactly. People told me like, oh, it's better. That's the reason they want
Why
everyone to
everyone-
reach exactly the max rank. But I think for the next one will be a higher one, you know, like the different tiers, and that can be nice, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, everyone should get rewards by it, but
An actual
there has to
clash.
be like some
Mm-hmm.
like value to the amount of effort you put in as well.
Exactly. You can also, one of my guildmates told me that is like you can get points depends of how differential is your win, because it's not the same a victory with 2 points different that a victory with 100 points difference, you know.
Yeah, that's a good
So
one.
that
Yeah.
can, yeah, that can affect to the ranking. Like, oh, this guy's is it's like on football. You know, you win 7-1. It's like, okay, these guys have 6 different goals. You know, you have the same wins, but these guys get a lot of scores more. You know, so that can be nice. You know, so when you
Yes.
found that guys, you want to deny them so they don't get that many points. For example, instead of winning, you want to deny them. You know, it's like that type of game. You know, you want to back and forth. You know.
Yeah,
And that can be
more
funny.
strategy involved. for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. And I think that can be nice. I love the idea, you know, of the battle, the clash fronts, of the different guilds and everything.
Yeah, it's like mini Risk. It's actually really good.
Yeah.
I like it. And I think if they implement the little things on the game modes, you will have a lot of more content. Because, for example, right now Milan is playing honor duels. Yeah, just imagine he's trying to find the perfect win. He's trying to find the 12 wins, because if he do it, he can get his epic card or his crystal. You know, because on the tie week he don't get them. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
and you can get them accumulate. Yeah, like imagine 1 week you don't have the time or you don't get the perfect win, you can still get him on the next week. You know, it's like, okay, you don't get them this week. You can maybe in this week you get 3 perfect wins, so you can get 2 in this week. You know, it's like on the AFK, like the clocks of time that give you 2 extra hours. It's reserved for the entire week. You know, you have all the days, so you can have something similar. Like, oh, this week you don't get the rewards, so you can get them this week, for
Yeah.
example.
No, that'd be
Can be
really
nice.
cool.
And you can always have that type of gameplay on the game, and that can be nice.
Yeah.
But for the rest, I feel it good. You know, I think like the primal lords and everything, you need to get a lot of strategies. You know, and everything. But it's what Turtle say. Like we need, at least they need to delay the primal lords to the 3rd and 4th month. You know, so it don't feel that empty, because the first month it feels astonished. It's like, oh, so many content. Yeah, we have the map. We
Yeah,
have the.
It is
the
a little
primal lord.
overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what to do. You know, you have so many things, and in the 3rd, 4th month, it's like, well, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. But imagine, for example, right now we have a primal lord. Like everyone will be doing comps, and it's like, oh, maybe I need to add this, or, you know, or like we have now the shell crusher. It would be nice because we can be theorize about the comps and everything, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Clam Crusher is just a fun title to have too.
Yeah. But I like the implementation to have it. Very clear.
Yeah, let's hear a little bit from Turtle. Do you have
Yeah,
any
sorry,
other things to add in?
I think that there needs to be more story, more new maps. The exciting thing for each month shouldn't just be a new hero. Like, what happens if you're someone who's skipping that hero? You know, then it's like basically 3 weeks of no content for you because, you know, you're going to skip that hero. Kind of like what Maka was saying, the new mode or the modes that don't currently have any good rewards, like Arcane Labyrinth and Honor Duels, there needs to be some sort of time-limited skin or like useful resource like Temporal Essence or Stellar Crystals that will make it worth your time to not only play the content but, you know, get good at it. I mean, like, just as an example, last week during my live stream, I probably spent an hour and a half in honor duels to get the 12 battles, right? I went zero after completing my 9-1 run, which was like the tail end of it. I went 0-3 and 1-3, and with the 2 invite letters I got acorns. So
Yeah.
I literally spent
that's
an hour and a half getting my ass handed to me for acorns, and like if I wasn't live streaming, it would be like the most awful feeling ever, And it couldn't just be me. I'm sure there's like hundreds of people who also are going 0-3 and not enjoying their time and also getting acorns. So, like if they did something like a Parisa skin, like how the first, I want to say like the first or second month, if you did honor duels, you could get a Parisa skin. If they just did that every month,
Yeah, no, I
that could be
agree.
their way to have returning players come back, because there's like a content creator, his name is Lele Zero. He was kind of like the person who was coming up with all these strategies
He's
for for honor duels, and he was completely free to play. He only logged into the game to play honor duels,
Oh wow.
but he ended up quitting like twice because, well, the first time he quit was because they weren't changing honor duels at all. And then second time it was because I think there were like no rewards. So
There's still no rewards.
Yeah.
and I don't think he's coming back. Well, I'll talk to him, but ever since he quit, like we haven't had a proper guide for honor duels, and as we all know, like we have some heroes that were taken out and added in, and I'm really struggling in honor duels right now because I have to figure out how to use heroes that weren't there before the update, and there's like new artifacts, and I'm like, gosh, where's Lele Zero when you need him?
Yeah. Oh, basically, on what you say, Turtle, on the acorns, that you get acorns. I remember because I use rewatching the message, I get. One of them, I remember they need to play more with the soul stones, because we only get the soul stones, like at least the S ranks, on the corrupt creatures. And if you get something like, I get 10 soul stones in this mode, and I get another 10 in this mode, you have that incentive to play it.
Yeah.
At least, and you feel like, I don't getting a card. There is a probability to get something. It's like I'm getting soul stones, so there's a probability to get at least a champion, a character, and that can be nice. At least I don't mean like you need to get always S tier soul stones, but you can get A tiers, for example. And you can get 60 soul stones for playing honor duels, or for playing Arcane Labyrinth. Like, okay, you get this. And because I don't know if you see the leak of they're gonna put soul stones of every factions. So imagine you building Odi. Yeah, so imagine you building Odi, so you can transport into the Mauler soul stones, and you have more probability to get Odi because you transfer into that. And I think that can be something very great, to have it. And
faction specific soul stones would be very cool.
Yeah, I think just for the overall health of the game, if we want no dead period, we're going to need content that goes beyond just adding an event. Like I don't think recycling bosses and into like something like what do you call the 2 Dream Realm bosses?
Titan Reaver.
Yeah, Titan Reaver.
Yeah.
Like it's basically like a different way to play Dream Realm. It's not really adding something fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, or I guess the update that's coming, we have Thalassa, I think that was her name, so at least that's a different, a different boss. But we need like new maps, new story. I think story is so important, and that's why I was so appreciative of Danger Gray spending an hour with the devs telling about how important lore is. You know, at first I just thought it was comical, but then when I thought about it after the meetup, I was like, dang, lore is so important, because if they like added new maps and new story every single month, then people cannot say there's a down period.
Nope.
Yeah.
Right? Because like if you skip cutscenes, you know, that's on you. At least the devs put in the effort to, you know, make it available for the other folks who will watch it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I forgot this. Like, sorry, I use like all the time, you know, reading.
No,
things
no,
that you
appreciate
read.
you. Yeah, go for it.
It's one. Well, it's not only one, because I put like abilitate like reactions, so they can put thumbs up or thumbs down. And it's one of the most thumbs up they got. Is like, I hope they completely change / removing arena, like the normal arena, and make it like Supreme Arena. You have 3 maps, or at least 1 map, and it changes. You know, you can choose. You have this map, play it. You know, don't cry, play it. You know, like you get this map, adapt to this map. You know, and sometimes it's happened to Supreme Arena. You get a map, like you don't have a clue to also play it, and when 3 days pass, you saw a guy like, oh, he's running this comp, I'm gonna try it. You know, and it works for you, or maybe don't work. You know, and still happen doesn't work. I think that can be more interesting arena. You know, it can be more back and forth on arena. And if they do that with the implementation of the chill time period, it can be very fun. You know, because every week you can have that differential arena, and you can have it. You know, basically they start like a lot of suggestions about it, and one of them that it makes me feel proud of that is basically they suggested what is called the name. They do like Supreme Arena, like basically you can have 3 maps, you know, or at least something similar. When you are closer to the top ranks, you know, if you are in the bottom ranks, you only need 1 map. But if you go to the top 20 or the top 5, you need 3 maps to fight.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
So basically, the whales can fight against the whales, and the other ones can fight against the other ones. You know, like the free players can have 1 map because they're gonna be lower, you know, and the top ones can have like the super maps with 3, and you're always gonna be changing, you know. So that can be nice.
Yeah, and you know, standard arena rewards are important. I mean, you can get an extra S rank or 2 like every month, you know, if you're ranking high. So, you know, make the top players work for it, you know, like just change the map every week, like you said.
Exactly.
And like if you're like say top 100, you know, you have to have 5 unique heroes on 2 different maps or 3 different maps. You know, and then the maps change every week, so that you can't just like come up with one OP team jam like 5 celestial hypogenes and just like not do anything for the rest of the month or 2 or 3.
Yeah, because basically on some composition don't work in all the maps. You know, like there is some comps. It's like, oh, and this map is very good, but try map 1. You know, try map 1 or map 2.
Yeah,
that's not gonna work. You know, like
we gotta reward players like Brother Star-Lord.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's playing.
Try it out.
Yeah, it's like,
I like that, for example, about Supreme Arena, where they change maps, and there is some comps that work great in one type of map but wouldn't in another.
exactly.
And it's fun finding out, like, okay, this team was really strong last week because of the map layout, but the same team on this map is not working.
Yeah.
So what can I try out? What character works better on this map, or what type of team works better here?
Yeah, and you are forced to use new characters because, for example, in the Instacast, there is some characters that works pretty nice, but there's others that works awful. You know, it's like, oh, this character don't work. Or some maps that you got invisible tiles, and you can put Rainer or Bala or some characters like that, and no one expected. It's like, oh shit, what happened this?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I just had an idea. So, like, in addition to new maps and stuff, like, you know how for plunders and stuff, sometimes the criteria is no Graveborns allowed or no
Oh, yeah,
Maulers
that would
allowed,
be
no
awesome.
supports allowed.
Hmm.
They could do that too, just to throw a wrench and be like, this week no Celestials, next week no
I think
Hypogenes.
they can put it on the top 20 because it's when most people have characters, and if they do that, I think that will be awesome. Because imagine you rely a lot on Dionel or Escalita and they put you no Celestials. Good luck, that week you're gonna go down a lot. Yeah.
Like the same thing you're saying, but imagine like you could pick, for example, for your own arena, like you could ban 3 units, and you can't use them, but nobody else attacking you can use them either. So, for example, if you're having a lot of problems with Lily May, then you have a defense without Lily May, but nobody
That
attacking
is
you.
such a great idea.
Yeah, you have a lot of things that can solve the static on the arena. Basically, I think if you put switching maps, so you cannot have the same map every week. Well, not that 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, because imagine you don't want to change it a lot. But yeah, if you have at least changing maps and special rules, that will be awesome. Because basically, it's force the players to improve, Because I know when I did the arena videos, I remember putting some composition and people on the comments put me like, oh, this comp doesn't work in my server. It was meta 1 week ago. It's like, whoa. Wow. And then they told me like, oh, but this comp, it was great. No one can break it, because depends of the server. The meta flows a lot because the characters, and if you limited the characters, it can change the meta a lot. Like, for example, imagine you ban the Maulers. You don't have Odi to execute people, for example. Or you ban, I don't know, Grainborns. You don't have Thoran. And most people hate Thoran because they counter hit, or something like that. So it's like, oh, now I can put
You
this
ban
character.
Scarlita.
Yeah, or you ban the Celestials or the Scalita because I always lose because the RNG of Scalita landing or whatever. That can be nice.
They need to do something to shake up the meta, even in Dream Realm, because now we're getting to the point where between weeks the teams don't change at all. So you're really just like hitting battles.
They should add tiles to the Dream Realm, not faction tiles, but like those buff tiles. With changes every week. That'd be so fun.
Like a quick attack tile or
yeah.
I love, for example, the ones who take out your vitality, I think, and bring stars 5% of your health every 2 seconds, something like that. I love that type of arena because I put like Thoran and Damian and all the trash characters that can revive.
Yeah.
And basically, you don't win the map, like, like good luck.
Yeah, exactly. There's different ways to play the game and new strategies.
Yeah, like a survival mode for the Dream Realm instead
I think
that's
one of the problems with Arena that is, for example, Supreme Arena. I really like that. To me, that is the PvP mode that this game has that is really good. But it's because it will always change with the season. Whatever is working this season is not guaranteed to work the next one. The same reason, for example, in season 1, everybody had an A-run team because that was one of the best. But this season, because of so many tiles and so many artifacts and being unaffected, A-run is not really good, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But regular arena doesn't have that advantage because they never add other features to the base game. Like they have no way to change the meta besides a new unit released and maybe they will be add something else. But like Turtle said, right, if you don't have it, you can't. That's not content for you. You have nothing else to do because you can't get every single unit that comes out.
Like imagine a free to play like have a specific units. And you, for example, change the map or change the rules on that map. Like, for example, that is one of my viewers put. Is like, you don't need to remove popular maps like Arena 3 or Arena 4, You can put special rules on it. So people maybe don't put the same units. For example, they put me like something hilarious like silence, no one can do anything in the 5 seconds, can cast or do anything. So for example, the abilities get cancelled. So like, oh, maybe it's like a little me for everyone. It's like, nope, you don't do that here. Nope. And for example, you can do that into bad arenas. You know, like Arena 1 is very basic, but oh, you have this special rule this week. You know, or you can see it and it's everything invisible. You know, and you can change things. You know, imagine one guy attack you and you have like the shield of 30 minutes and you change the entire composition. And when he attack you again, it's like, wait, he's not running like Talene. He's like, oh no, I'm running all this. I'm running the other. And that can be funny, you know, like because people attack you, you have the shield, you have time, and because it's everything invisible, and it can be a strategy, you know. So in that way, the invisible maps works. That is what I do in Supreme Arena. I switch the characters when I have invisible tiles, so people can realize what is the good character. So
Yeah,
like,
no,
That's so smart.
that's always fun.
yeah, that's super fun. I remember one guy lose like 4 times in a row, having better characters than me, because I switched them. I was like, no, here is no Lily May. It's in this one. Yeah. Yeah, so he kind of realized.
Well, guys, we're running pretty close on time. I know we have a lot more to talk about. So, good news is we'll probably have another episode like this where we're going to talk about game improvements as the game develops. We talked a lot this week, mainly about game improvements, pressures of being a content creator.
Yeah.
We talked about Pioneer server, Ravage Realm coming out, Titan Reaver. Let's end with some shout outs. I'll start it off. I would like to shout out Turtle, Mako for joining us. It was a very fun week, very fun podcast, very informative. Jimmy, who would you like to shout out?
Myself for still playing the game.
Yes. Props to us.
Exactly.
Yeah, pat yourselves on the back. Milan, who would you like to shout out this week?
Yeah, no, I
Who or
agree.
what?
This was a great episode. Thank you, Turtle. Thank you, Mako, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
You've been great.
I
really
thank
enjoyed
you guys like for inviting us.
I feel it's very interesting to hear your guys' perspective because you know it's not every day that you see or hear this type of stuff coming from a content creator.
Yes.
And I feel like you know a lot of people don't really consider you guys, you know, the same way they would consider like a random player. You know, like people are. It's very easy to judge, but I feel like I speak for all of us here and a lot of the community when I say that we really appreciate and respect the things you do and how much you guys give to the community.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to give a shout out to defunct Jimmy Milan for starting this podcast. Such a great idea. I remember when Vulcan had his first podcast, and then there was supposed to be a second one. Like Vulcan had invited me for the second one, which never ended up happening. I think he got like distracted by Pokemon Pocket or something. And for you guys to carry the torch and to do this consistently, I mean, episode 4 now, like that's awesome. We don't have anything like this. We need something like this to share ideas, our experiences of that moment, because sometimes, you know, we may go through some rough patches in the game, like lack of content or friends quitting or, just whatever it may be, and to kind of encapsulate all that in an episode so that we can look back on it, perhaps even like down the road if, I'm hoping we have a second AFKJ meetup, and then hopefully the devs will be back again so that we can actually tell them the ideas that we talked about in this podcast. And I also want to give a shout out to you, Star-Lord, as well as all the people in Analytica who go out their way to elevate everyone's game. I know for sure at least like 2-3 times, maybe more, Star-Lord, I've relied on your formations and other strategies to, just compete with people on my server. You know, Monka trying to
man.
stay in it, so to get the valuable temporal essence, you know, or whatever the rewards may be. So yeah, those guys
Okay.
are the real MP. You guys are the real MVP. So thank you.
Oh, thank
Mhm.
Mako.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, usually when you enter, at least it's basically what turtles say, like channels like this, you know, and discourse like analytical, those are like that, like share information and talk about the game more deeply. I think it's so great, you know, at least for most of the players. I love it. You know, in general terms, it's so good because you can see perspective things like, oh, I want this theory. You know, it's like, for example, when I was commenting changes that can be good, and you guys like, oh yeah, and they can implement also this because it's related and it's awesome. Like, thank you to you guys for inviting me, for showing up here. It was great.
Yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you.
Yeah, we
All
talk a
right.
lot.
Last but not least, Brother Star. Who you shouting this week?
Hey, I guess the shout out this week goes out to. Damn, I'm blanking. I guess honestly to Milan because this week he made a Supreme Arena formation that's still blowing my mind. Like I live in Supreme Arena and I look at it, I'm like, man, that's good stuff.
Thank you,
Mhm.
thank you.
All right. I would like to thank the viewers for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We will catch you guys in the next episode. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. See you later.